All right, here's a fun one. Whereas when you hear of Grandpa in the Garden as a political statement, what do you think that's referring to?
My first mental image goes to old man Vito Corleone talking to his great grandson with a little slice of orange in his mouth and then dying of a heart attack. But that's just me. But I'm willing to bet it's Joe Biden shuffling aimlessly in I'm guessing an Oval Office garden or something of that like.
Good guess, actually, but it's not. What if I tell you that Grandpa in the Garden is I think the colloquial name for a political bill which has been approved in the US state? What do you think is in the bill?
I have no clue.
I'll tell you that the name of the bill, I assume this is a colloquialism, but it might not be. It's not one of those like truly deceptive names. This is accurate, but not in the way you might expect. So Grandpa in the Garden bill. Ready? Arizona approves human composting with Grandpa in the Garden bill.
Well, I can honestly say I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't before I saw it anyway. That's why I clicked on it.
You know, Uzalu, I don't think I can dig this bill.
Oh, no. Wes, you're out to pasture at this point. There is something in us, they say, that wants to return to the earth. Terramation provider Return Home CEO Micah Truman says. Now, that is some propaganda for what is mulching bodies. Now, despite how bad this sounds, it's actually not quite as bad as it could be yet. My concern, of course, is it could be taken further. But at the moment, oh, well, we'll see. Arizona, under, of course, Katie Hobbs, who literally stole the election from Kari Lake, has become the latest state in the nation to allow terramation, also known as human composting, as an alternative to traditional burial methods and cremation. House Bill 2081 and Senate Bill 1042, also referred to as the Grandpa in the Garden Bill, was signed into law by Governor Katie Hobbs on March 29th and gives accredited it's law. It's in. And gives, this is the part that ameliorates it, right? And gives accredited funeral providers the ability to offer the service. So ostensibly, it's not mandatory, it's just if the relatives of the deceased want to do it, they can. That's what it seems like. My concern is how much further could this go? While terramation has grown...
there are private organizations that will basically use your remains in a so if you like cremate yourself, you can organize you can contact a company to have your remains put in a pot to use, and they will plant a tree using your remains to pack the roots.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But are they actually talking about like not cremating and doing it ceremoniously, like actually mulching a mother?
We're going to find out, because the devil is in the details here. Like if you get buried, and let's say that you have a thin, basic coffin that will decay fairly quickly, then your body is going to be mulched by the earth anyway. But I think there is some difference between letting that happen naturally and doing it the moment the body is available through a machine. As is something of a difference in what we think of human bodies, even when they're not alive. And perhaps that says a lot about what we think about human bodies when they are alive. And I do note that this is happening at the same time as the international supply of, I believe it's nitrogen-rich soil, is under some degree of threat, because the only country in the world that supplies it in anywhere near a large enough quantity is Morocco, and they, a little while ago, were sort of swinging their dicks around a bit, making it difficult. So, at a time when that's happening, it is a little worrying that they're coming up with alternatives. I don't know if human bodies are potentially alternatives for this, but they might be.
With as wide and as huge tracts of land that the United States has, farmland-wise, there's absolutely no reason why we can't supply the world with nitrogen-rich soil. That's ridiculous. that is ridiculous.
Probably so. Yeah. I don't know. Let's keep reading though. The bill. Hold on. While terramation has grown in population over the years, it has faced backlash from many, including religious groups. The bill, sponsored by Republican Representative Lauren Hendricks and Senator T.J. Shope, was passed in both chambers with little opposition after being introduced in December of last year. The thing is, maybe the only reason I'm worried about this is because at this moment in history, Democrats almost exclusively implement bills that are anti-human, support corruption, and sabotage the Western world. So why are they implementing this? Which, viewed from the most idealistic lens, is just, well, people should be allowed to do this if they want to. It's a free country. But why are they doing it? Why are they? Why is this a big deal? It's concerning. I'm worried.
You could make the argument that it's one step towards like removing the sanctity, of our honored dead, meaning loved ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing: simply allowing people to, okay, call me a lolbert if you want, but I believe that if you want to do something weird with your body after you die, you should be able to do it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not messing with anyone else. If you want to have your body mulched and put into your rose garden, I don't see why you shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's your body. Do with it what you want.
Yeah.
And a law that just goes, hey, yeah, you can do that. I don't necessarily have.
Indeed. The reason I'm covering it though is like, yeah, I don't disagree. It should be illegal. One, why was it? And two, why is this a priority at the moment? It's skirting a little close to dangerous territory of the undermining of the sanctity of life, and that's why I said, in and of itself, it isn't actually that bad, but the potential for a slippery slope is there. So something to keep aware of. John Wick says this is one more step towards normalizing cannibalism. It could be.
So here's the thing. There is an issue with using human compost in certain circumstances for crops. There's an issue with that. So I don't think it should be used for crops, but for other things, yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't want it to be, I don't want to introduce human remains into the food supply. I agree with everyone who's saying that in the chat.
Indeed.
Because literally the first thing I thought of was the veiled cannibalism in Judge Dredd. Because there aren't a lot of farms and ranches in Mega City 1. Ones. Yeah, and yet there's meat everywhere.
Yeah.
And Cyberpunk, I might add. Cyberpunk too.
Well, maybe the law has a subtle a clause in it that says that once the funeral home has mulched the remains, they must return them to the state's environmental protection agency equivalent to be, then the evil plan comes in. Then they start using it in ways they shouldn't. But I don't know. This is in and of itself not that bad, but it could open the door to some concerns.
Yeah. Because I personally don't give a damn what happens to my body afterwards. I did. They did ask that that if in like when I die, if it's still a thing, because the whole thing with my ribs, that was experimental. So they do want to keep an eye on my corpse when I die to see how it goes. Like, and also they are going to be. I did say that as long as I'm able to, they're allowed to check up on me and make sure everything's going well and stuff like that. So, that is going to be something most likely that's going to be, and who knows, maybe 50, 100 years from now, my rib cage will be put up on some kind of display and some kind of medical thing as one of the first instances of this procedure being done on a human body. So, or as my great granduncle said, stick a ham bone up my ass and call the dogs, because I do not care. I'm dead. You remember me, obviously. I want my loved ones to remember me for the good and the bad. I want people who I impacted the lives of to remember me, either fondly or badly. However, that is in the end up to you. But I don't care what happens to my body. I've never cared what happens to my body. I mean, my God, I've treated it badly enough over the years. I mean,
yeah, I don't care much. I care the normal amount. I think what happens to my body after I die.
Yeah,